My name's Cliff Caruth. I'm the police chief and marshal.
Great. And could you please tell us what this meeting was all about today?
So this is part of our community policing program. Our goal in our plan is to expand our community policing program across the entire city of Marshall. We'll have different community groups set up in 4 different sections of the town, and it's an opportunity for the officers, the police department, and the community to partner, get to know each other, communicate, develop ways of strategically communicating to try to identify our problems in town, and then come up with a response. Our main goal is to making the community safer.
And what was special about today's meeting? What makes, this particular location unique from other? Basically, this is the first one for Zone C is what I'm getting at.
Right, it's the first one for this area, so it's important in that it's the first time we met, introduced ourselves, explained what we're trying to do. We started a communication back and forth with different people, and then identified maybe some people that can help move it forward in that our next meeting we can get more people involved, and that's the goal, is just try to come up with ways through crime prevention of stopping crime and making our community safer. But I think people have to understand the police can't be everywhere, so we have to figure out how do we work together to accomplish that goal.
So that's why you're enlisting community help and maybe preparing them with certain tools that can help prevent crime.
Right.
Essentially.
Prevent crime, solve crime, and again, just make the areas safer. If you live in a community, you want to make that community safe. If you're involved, we give you the tools to do that, and that makes our job, I won't say easier, but more effective.
So how do you get involved?
Well, I think number one, if you see something, you say something. That's common, we've heard that a million times, but how do you do that? So the goal is to give, obviously you can call 911 if you see something, it's an emergency. If it's not an emergency, you can call our non-emergency number, but we're providing out email methods of sending those messages, and we're trying to develop some different apps that we can do that as well. So as we move forward, developing more effective ways to communicate with your police department.
Okay, and can you tell me about the history of community policing in Marshall?
Well, I've been here 5.5 years as the chief, so that was one of my goals strategically, is to expand that. We live in a world where it's important for the individuals that live here to know their police officers. If you know someone, you've communicated with them, you develop a relationship, you tend to trust them more. If those aren't true, it's more difficult. So it's our job to get out and try to elicit the cooperation of the community, but try to provide them with different programs to accomplish that. We talked about this meeting, we have a Citizens Police Academy, National Night Out. There's a lot of different programs, but together it is part of that community policing program.
Okay, so the people who were putting their email down and signing their names, giving their phone numbers, what was that for? So
the purpose there is we have a method of communicating with them. For example, if we have an issue in their neighborhood, someone's burglarizing, we can send that message out and let them know. Remind them to lock their doors, just the basic crime prevention aspect. So it's us being able to strategically reach out to the people that are affected by those issues.
Just better direct contact.
Direct contact. On our next meeting, we can push that out to everyone and let them know, ask them then to get their other neighbors involved. So it really boils down to communication, effective communication.
So signing that is not like signing you up to be, doing any extra work or anything. It's genuinely just to help people.
I mean, we're not signing anybody to do anything. Now, I'll take all the help I can get, meaning really if you see something suspicious, how do you report that in a way that gives us the best chance of stopping whatever that suspicious activity is? So it's training, it's communicating, and it's coming up with more effective ways to do that.
Okay, and can you tell me a little bit about what is to come in the future in terms of the other zones being established?
So our next zone we'll probably set up is our downtown area. We've started that process of developing it, and then we'll work through the other 2 areas. So we'll have really 5 groups within Marshall, 4 in each of the zones in the downtown area.
And what have you noticed about the already established Zone A? How has that been working out?
I mean, that group has been in place for a while. Since I've been here, I mean, it's great in that you get to know the people over time. If you go to a meeting every other month for several years, I mean, you can't help but get to know people, and I think that's important, moving forward and trying to deal with issues, especially if something bad happens, you already have those relationships developed, and when things are going well, you can congratulate each other. So, I mean, it's just developing relationships. I've said that, but I think that's something that's very important in policing.
Great. All right, you got anything else you want to add? Any questions for me?
No, just anyone that sees I would say we're asking people to get involved. It will help us help you, and that's the goal.
Great. Okay, last thing I need